A business is only as strong as the efficiency of its processes. Allison Dunn, business and executive coach. I will be talking about what it means to be a buyer in the manufacturing industry, why this job is appealing to me, and the requirements and the path to becoming a buyer, and the aspects of the job that are not widely known. Being a buyer in manufacturing has not always interested me, but I have multiple family members in this field, and I see how the position is needed for the function of the companies. Through the personality test, I was given a variety of jobs that I could do. They ranged from careers in business to careers in psychiatry and nursing. After completing my interview and researching this job, I have a much better understanding of the requirements and the day to day tasks of the job. Although the type focused test directed me more towards jobs in psychiatry and nursing, I'm interested in learning about jobs that my family members have personally had. From from the Focus 2 assessments, my results were INFP. I am social, realistic, and investigative, and I value relationship, support, and working conditions the most. The buyer in manufacturing is responsible for making sure their company has all the materials needed for production while staying within the budget plan. Buyers negotiate with vendors to attain the materials needed. This requires the person to use relationship skills such as communication and listening. Some of the responsibilities of the buyer include identifying the company's material needs and strategically purchasing materials as well as services. They also identify potential suppliers, paying attention to the quality, price, and reliability. Since I am investigative, I may manage this task well. They manage the performance of vendors as well as coordinate with production, finance, and logistics. Buyers monitor inventory levels and make sure that the company adheres to legal, environmental, and regulatory requirements. This requires a person to be realistic. Other tasks that buyers do include tracking orders, handling invoices, keeping records of purchase history, and keeping updated about industry trends. These requirements fit perfectly into my interests and values. To be a buyer in manufacturing, a person must acquire a degree in the following: business, supply chain management, or related field. To heighten the chances of getting a job, there are two certificates that a person can get: certified purchasing professional or certified supply chain professional. Manufacturing in America started during the Industrial Revolution. From textiles to hardware, the same principles were used. Companies focused on generating high numbers products for a low cost. Manufacturing in America was prohibited by England until 1776 when we became our own country. In 1774, Captain John Ames rebelled against England by making his own shovels for the colonists to use. To this day, the Ames Company still makes shovels. During the era of the 1800s, many well known hardware manufacturers were established. Hardware manufacturing was vital to the expansion of the nation. During World War II, hardware manufacturers got a lot more business. All of their products were going to the military. One of the challenges that the manufacturing business endures is the environmental impact that is caused by their process. An example of the environmental problem is the Caterpillar plant case. Management was troubled about the impact of the toxic waste produced by the plant's metal, fishing, and plating processes. It was expensive to haul off the waste and almost caused legal issues for the company. Caterpillar used a system of separating the chrome from the outside environment or water that had to be used for the process of manufacturing. This system was efficient, but later a new system was implemented. The waste product would be dewatered and become the consistency of sludge. This was cheaper to ship out, and it was able to be recycled. Both the water and the toxic waste were able to be recycled, which saved money and materials as well as being healthier for the environment. I interviewed Mary Hayes, a materials manager, about the buyer job. From my interview, I learned things that I could not find on the internet. Some of the things I found out was that there will always be job openings in this field of work. Buyers get to be involved in the design of new products. Regular hours for of a buyer or materials manager are 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. A big part of the job is deciding what source to use for materials, what type of material to use, and creating the schedule for material to arrive that supports the schedule for the manufacturers. One of the things that she would like to change in her job is the amount of pressure involved in making sure the materials get there on time and are the correct materials. Skills that are essential for this job are communication, email etiquette, Excel, the ability to use the internet efficiently, and identifying sources for the items. She likes the ability to do creative problem solving and the satisfaction of helping to create a quality product, the most about the company. Before working for her company, she worked in accounting. Other jobs that you can get with the same background are logistics, assistant to design engineers, and sales. From what I learned during the interview and what I learned by researching, I have a much better understanding of the job duties, day-to-day work life, the issues that arise in this field of work, and the history behind the job. I understand better how the job matches my personality, interests, and values.
I didn't know that about the British